Hello, friends. God has a plan to send the Messiah among the Israelites and save people. So, he gave a promise to David about the King of Eternal Kingdom, which also meant that the throne of the King of Israel would be passed on to the line of David. However, the people of Israel sinned against God by worshiping idols, and their nation was divided into two. God continued his promise through southern Judah, but both northern Israel and southern Judah were filled with sinful ways of life. They never realized their sins, which led to the fall of their nations. Southern Judah was invaded by Babylon, and the temple in Jerusalem were destroyed to the ground. Many Israelites were taken as slaves to Babylon. This is where today's story begins. There are few who remembered God's promise and kept their faith even in their captivity.
Oh my, I'm full. Did I eat too much?
Gospel, how was Lost's birthday party? Did you eat a lot of good food?
Yeah, Angel Meal.
You look a bit too full.
Yeah, Angel Meal. We went to this pizza place. Happy birthday, Lost! Here, this is for you.
Oh, thanks, Gospel.
Oh, is that it? This is what a present should look like. Ta-da! Here, Lost. How do you like that, huh?
Wow, Pride, this is really big. Thanks. Guys, I ordered everyone's favorite pizza. Eat up.
You know, Pride was all proud of his big present and stuff. When we were eating pizza, he said since his gift was the biggest, he should eat the most, and said to me,
Gospel, you always say grace before you eat, right? Hurry up, kid, or I'll finish off the pizza.
And I didn't want to lose to Pride, so I ran over and stuffed myself. But my tummy doesn't feel so great. I might have eaten too much.
Oh boy, you guys. But Gospel, you didn't say grace before your meal? You always do.
Well, that's... I'm usually the only one who says grace before meals, and, well, I didn't want to be the only one. And also, I didn't think there would be any left, and, I mean, God knows he understands me, doesn't he?
Gospel, you remind me of someone who is just the opposite. He never skipped his prayer, even when he was a captive in another country.
Who was that?
Daniel. When Jerusalem was falling, the Israelites were taken captive as slaves in 3 different groups. Daniel was in the first group of captives. Gospel, come on, let's go see and learn about Daniel and his friends.
Wow, this is very big! Where are we? Where are those people?
This is the palace of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Those are the young men of southern Judah. King Nebuchadnezzar picked bright young men among the royal captives and had them live in his palace and get educated.
I thought life in captivity would be hard, but this doesn't seem so bad.
You think so? We should watch.
You boys will be living in this palace by the grace of merciful King Nebuchadnezzar. We will feed you the best wine and meat. Be thankful for your king.
I am one of God's chosen people. Although I am a captive here in Babylon, I cannot eat these foods. I will only eat the clean foods God permitted.
Yes, I agree too.
Yes, me too.
Oh, me as well.
Sir, 4 of us will not eat these foods. Please understand our decision and allow us to avoid these foods.
What? It is my king who gets to decide what you eat and drink. Refusing to eat. My life is on the line if you are not well taken care of. You will get me in big trouble with the king.
Sir, if that's the case, please observe us for 10 days. We will only eat vegetables and water. If you see that our health is fine, you can allow our request.
Well, Angel Meal, what's happening? There seems to be trouble with the food.
Yes, Daniel and his friends, they decided to refuse the food from the king of Babylon.
What? Well, how can they refuse all that great-looking food?
Gospel, that food was offered to the idols of Babylon. God forbid that food. King Nebuchadnezzar picked those bright young men in his palace to raise them as his servants. They would have been the leaders of Israel if southern Judah didn't fall. They changed their names to the names of Babylonian style and made them eat their food, and this was so that they would learn the Babylonian culture.
Really? Is that true?
Yes, it's true. That's why Daniel and his 3 friends refused to eat that food. 10 days had passed and the director examined the 4 boys. By God's grace, they were healthier than those who ate the king's food. God was with Daniel and his friends, and they received high positions in service of the king. Daniel had the special gift of reading visions and dreams, so he was able to stay in the palace, being very close to the king. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego became the administrators to govern the provinces.
I see.
These 4 became the servants of Babylon, but they tried to keep their faith in God. And there were times when they had to risk their lives.
Risk their lives?
Yes, Babylon is the nation with the spirit of the Tower of Babel. It was the symbolic nation that was against God's ways and culture. Keeping faith in such a nation is never an easy thing to do.
Gold statue of my god, gold god! I will make a gold statue of my great god. Gigantic for everyone to see. Bring all my servants from every nation. Let them bow and serve the golden god.
Long live the great king! All have bowed before the gold statue as you have ordered. All of your servants, except those few who ignored your command. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from Judea.
What? Bring them all here!
No! Lord of Doubt! Angel Meal, Satan is trying to shake their faith!
I know, those 3 are in danger. But Gospel, let's have faith in Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It's not going to be as simple as Satan wants.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego! How dare you ignore my command and refuse to bow to my god? I told you those who refuse will be thrown into the pit of fire. Here's your last chance. I will save you if you bow before this god now. Look into that fire pit. What god will save you from such fire?
King, please have mercy on us. We will not change our decision. Our God will protect us from the furnace and we won't get hurt. But even if he doesn't, we will still serve our God. We will not bow, not serve your gold god.
Oh, you fools! Fine! You have asked for it. Put more fire into the furnace. Make it hot to the full!
Ooh, that's hot! That's hot! We should not get too close. Get in there! Ooh!
Shoot, you fools! Now you'll be a crisp barbecue!
Angel Meal, what should we do? They're going to die!
Gospel, look!
Oh!
What is happening? Surely 3 were put in the fire. Who is that 4th person? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Get out of there. Your God must be great. God has sent his angels to save you.
Oh, that's what happened! God would never have let them die.
That's right. Even the king of Babylon had to admit to God. But King Nebuchadnezzar was fearless, proud, and evil. He took down many nations and ruled a very strong nation. Still, King Nebuchadnezzar was in the hands of God's great plan. Babylon seemed like it would last forever, but another great nation called Persia took it down. Daniel was in the midst of all these historical events and remained wise and knowledgeable. He became the minister of Persia too. The king assigned 3 ministers to get the job done, and Daniel was one of them.
Oh, God was with Daniel and blessed his ways. Oh, time must have passed. Daniel seemed a bit old.
Yes, this is the time of King Darius of Medes Persia after Babylon.
Oh, Angel Mio, what is Daniel doing? Is he praying?
Yes, Daniel faced the window facing Jerusalem and prayed 3 times a day. He lived like this since his time in Babylon.
Oh, I wonder what he's praying about.
He's praying for Israel, thinking about Jerusalem and his people. He wanted to see southern Judah recover and God's plan carry on.
Daniel, that fool. Just a slave from Judea. I can't believe he's still looking for his God.
We can't let him be. Lord of Doubt, here's your chance to redeem your mess up in Babylon.
Thank you, Satan. Leave it to me.
Silence! I don't trust you to handle this alone. Lord of Jealousy, you take the lead.
Yes, Master. I have a great plan to crush Daniel.
This is terrible. Isn't the king favoring Daniel too much?
I know. It's hard enough sharing the ministry with a Jew. But the king, he wants us to obey his commands. It's unacceptable. There must be a way. What can we accuse Daniel of doing?
I have an idea. There's a great issue we can bring up to the king.
Faithful Daniel faced a great danger. The other ministers who were jealous of Daniel convinced the king to make a new law. They assigned a month to pray to the king only, and praying to any other gods were not allowed. And those who went against the law were thrown into the lion's den.
Oh, Daniel would violate the law, right?
Yes, the king didn't know about Daniel's daily prayer and passed the law. Gospel, what do you think Daniel did? He knew about the law but continued to pray. The ministers couldn't wait to accuse Daniel. They were jealous of him and tricked him. The king tried to find ways to get Daniel out of trouble, but the ministers, they didn't give up.
Daniel, I am the king, but there's nothing I can do for you. Let Daniel into the lion's den. Daniel, I hope your God will save you from this trouble.
Oh, Angel Mio, what shall we do now? Will God save him this time too?
Save him? No way! Not this time. Daniel, just look at those hungry lions. They will swallow you up in one bite. Scared, yeah? You will never get out of this mess alive. Come on, beg for mercy. Tell them you're sorry.
Lord of Jealousy, what do you think you're doing? It's my turn.
Shush, and watch. You are not fit for this.
How dare you?
Oh, you dumb devil. Don't you remember how you messed up with Daniel's friends? That was just pathetic.
Be quiet, you cheeky.
Oh, not too bad. Take this.
Hey, you, Satan's servant! Holy Warrior Gospel is here! Huh? Are you fighting each other? Hey, come fight with me, you monsters!
Quiet, kid.
Oh, I'm not afraid of either of you. God, please help me. Holy power!
Oh, no!
Oh, that was simple. Thank you, God. You will be with Daniel too, right?
I couldn't do anything through the night. I'm in such agony. Daniel, did your God save you?
I am fine, dear king. God has sent his angels to me, and the lions were not able to harm me. My king, I have done no wrong before you and my God.
Daniel is safe and alive. Get him out of the den, and bring those who plotted against Daniel into the lion's den. Daniel, your God is truly a living God.
Oh, this is great. Because of Daniel, King Darius found out about how great God is.
Right. God used Daniel. God also showed lots of visions to Daniel and had him write them down. He showed Daniel how the Temple of Jerusalem would be rebuilt, and about what would happen to the nations around Israel, and how the Messiah, Jesus, is coming, and the fall of Jerusalem again. He showed him how the Antichrist would trouble God's people. but also the completion of an everlasting kingdom of God when Jesus comes back. God allowed Daniel to encourage God's people to keep faith and hope for God's heaven.
Oh, I see.
Gospel, the reason Daniel was able to be used by God to carry on an important role in the midst of history was because he was able to keep his faith even during this difficult time. Daniel and his friends knew that their time of captivity was already in God's plan, spoken through Jeremiah. They believe that God's plan for his kingdom is not over yet. That's why they were able to be courageous, even when their lives were at risk. Gospel, if you keep your faith in God's kingdom no matter what the circumstance, God will use you too. Saying grace before a meal seems like such a small thing, but with faith, it carries a greater meaning.
Yes, Angel Meal. A lot of things come to mind after seeing Daniel.
Oh, it's time to get back.
Gospel, what did you just do? Pray? Well, I saw you eat pizza without saying grace yesterday.
Well, I know. I made a mistake. Daniel prayed to God even in his captivity and risked his life. I guess I can wait a bit for food. Saying grace before my meal is important too.
Huh. It has been a while since I heard you say something stupid like that. Pray all you want. They are giving seconds if you clean your plate, and I finished already. So here I go for seconds.
God, I want to be like Daniel and think of you as the most important thing. Please help me pray every day for your kingdom and to keep my faith in you.